Hello to this late afternoon taste challenge, late afternoon, early evening taste challenge. I have two American blended whiskeys. Now, the last one I did was short because it was Calvert and I only had a little bit left, and then so it was gone and wasn't really competitive because Calvert Extra is 100% whiskey. There's no grain spirit filler. But here are two, maybe not that well known products. But here is Beam's 8 Star, introduced in 1976. The label has changed over the years. This is Beam's 8 Star Kentucky Whiskey, a blend, 80 proof, distilled and bottled by Kentucky Springs Distilling Company, Claremont and Frankfort, Kentucky, USA. Yeah, some of the Beam products, they'll use that terminology on it or that naming on it. They'll say Clear Springs Distilling. Oh, I'm sorry, Kentucky Springs Distilling. Kentucky Springs. I don't know why they do that, but they have a number of products that use that Kentucky Springs Distilling. But then everybody knows it's Jim Beam because it says Beams. I don't know what 8 Star stands for. Might be some kind of Kabbalah thing. If you know anything about the bourbon industry and who's involved in it, that might make sense. But or the whiskey industry, I should say. But it's been around 50 years. It's the 50th anniversary of Beam's 8 Star. Are they going to have a big celebration for this product and promotionals to celebrate the 50th anniversary? I seriously doubt it since they don't even list it on their website. But here it is. And this liter bottle, this was a deal. This liter bottle was $9 plus tax. Now, I saw this stuff last week at Dorgnac's Food Center. They had regular size bottles and the big handles. And the price was good, it was really good, actually. So if you go to a restaurant and you say, I want to get a Beam and Coke, yeah, you'll get a Beam and Coke, but it's probably going to be that Beam and Coke. And you can go later and say, they cheated me. They tricked me. They didn't trick you or cheat you because you didn't specify. You didn't say Jim Beam and Coke. No, you said, give me a Beam and Coke, and they certainly did. You paid $9 for that. And it cost them 90 cents, maybe not that much. All right. So the caliber is a little darker. Now, caliber was introduced in 2004. So we've been seeing caliber for over 20 years, but caliber American blended whiskey didn't hit the market till last year, 2025, and late last year, like October. So it's not a product that's been around a whole long time, although the Canadian one, I think, has been around 22 years. So this is an unusual blend ratio. This one is 58.1% grain neutral spirits, which means it's 41.9% straight whiskey, straight bourbon, we would assume. Got no age statement, which means the straight bourbons are aged at least 4 years. It says bottled in Kentucky. It does not say distilled in Kentucky, which is telling me that they're getting whiskeys from different states and blending them, probably getting a good deal on them, going to auctions. But it is sold at Walmart for $6.96. And this liter bottle was $9. So, but anyway, yeah, I do find deals now. It's no lie. But let's look at the websites. Well, there is no actual website for Jim Beam 8 Star. Now, I like how Total Wine calls it Jim Beam 8 Star. That is not now, nor has it ever been, the name of the product. It is not called Jim Beam 8 Star Blend. No, That's a good price, though. It's called Beams 8-star. Okay. Kentucky whiskey, a blend. So we know that the whiskey is all Kentucky whiskey because it says Kentucky whiskey, which means it has to be this in Kentucky. And it is bottled in Kentucky, which makes perfect sense. They just don't explain what the 8-star is. But you don't need to know that. And there aren't many reviews or whatever for it. It's very inexpensive. Caliber. From Walmart. Yes, they have their own private label brands. And this is a new one for perfect for craft and excellent cocktails. But on the other hand, they do say below, way below, store temperature or in the freezer. I don't think I would store plastic in the freezer until you're ready to enjoy a premium blended whiskey that delivers a memorable drinking experience every time. Caliber blended on the rocks, sipping chilled, or enjoying in your favorite cocktails, mixed drinks. Now, somewhere on here it says, or even drinking it neat. Where does it say? Oh, yeah. Enjoy 80 proof blended whiskey on the rocks, sipped, chilled, or drink neat, which means no water or ice added at room temperature. Well, they said it. Drewski Brewski says, hey, Ron, cheers. Cheers to you, Drewski Brewski in Michigan. Craft Beer Tastic says, so long as the whiskey is bottled in Kentucky, it can be called Kentucky whiskey. It doesn't have to be also distilled in Kentucky. No, that's a good question. No, it has to be, if it's Kentucky whiskey, it has to be distilled in Kentucky. Doesn't have to be from the same distillery. It can be from this distillery, that distillery, the other distillery. But they all have to be from Kentucky. So this says Kentucky whiskey, which means every part of this product is from Kentucky. Now, the Caliber, on the other hand, does not claim to be Kentucky whiskey. And they very clearly call it American blended whiskey, which is telling us that it's whiskeys from somewhere in America, most likely Indiana. But it is bottled in Kentucky at least. Come on. Come on. Settle down. Don't act crazy. Come on. No, calm down. Come on. Come on. Calm down. Relax. Yeah, wishful thinking. So appearance, yeah, they're both amber, so they look like whiskey. They look like whiskey, brown, or somebody might say brown water, but 40% alcohol water. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. But sure would be nice if you chased that pom pom around for about 2 hours straight. Smells like standard whiskey, grain, corn. You know, these are mostly corn. A little rye spice, yeah, some charred oak, a little bit, not a whole lot. Do they smell more like bourbon or less like bourbon? Well, they smell more like bourbon. And Total Wine thinks it is a bourbon, but they're wrong. It's not. Come on, take your little ball. You know how they say take your ball and go home? Literally, I want you to take your ball and go home. Go get it. Whoa, that was a mistake. Go get it. She's not gonna really run after it for that long. I remember back when Goose Island had to change Kentucky Breakfast Stout to KBS because it's not actually brewed in Kentucky. Right, right. And they could claim that they were trying to deceive the customers. All right, taste time. Cheers. It's like you'll buy some Irish cream liqueur and it'll say Irish style cream liqueur, like Ryan's Irish style. It's not made in Ireland. It's made in Kentucky. It's a Irish style. Now it's very good. It's very popular. A lot of people around here buy it. Now they see Irish style. They don't think, they thinking it's from Ireland. It's from maybe Ireland, Kentucky. Um, if you get some Louisiana style hot sauce, you're like, oh man, I love this hot sauce. This is my favorite Louisiana hot sauce. And somebody might point out to you, well, actually it says Louisiana style hot sauce. And if you look carefully at the bottle, it says New Jersey, but then who cares if it's from New Jersey, but it tastes good. You liked it before somebody pointed it out to you. So what difference does it make? Oh, no, these do not taste similar. I mean, they taste similar in the sense that they taste like whiskey, but the actual flavor is not that similar. So let's break this down without, well, as much as I can with the kitten running around going berserk this time of night, but she really gets crazy. But this one has sugar sweetness. Um, it's 75% grain spirits, which means it's 25% straight bourbon, right? Right. 75% grain neutral spirits, 25% straight whiskey, which is from Beam. It's some bourbon, probably something that didn't come out right. Oh, you see, now this one has no age statement. That means it's aged at least 4 years. Now, the new bottles say 2 years, or do they? I think they do. And the new bottles say 80-20, 80%. You better check. I think you better check the bottle because I think it does change a little bit, batch to batch, maybe something like that. But I would check my label after you check the price tag. I don't think it really matters, but check the price tag first. But so let me check my notes. Uh, yeah, let's take the 2-year age statement. That was not on my bottle, so I can't say that. So it means it's at least 4 years. Now, could it be some Jim Beam that didn't come out right, and they just blended it? Well, that's probably what it is, which is probably why I got the liter bottle for $9. But people slag on Jim Beam all the time, talking about how it's no good. So I don't believe that. I know I don't subscribe to that idea, but other people do. So if you're theoretically going along with that line of thinking and you say, well, you took an inferior product and you just make it a little bit more inferior product with it, then you sell it for a super low price. What's the downside? And I'm thinking there isn't any unless it makes you ill or it's off-putting or disastrous in the flavor. And it's not any of those things. It's not incredible in the flavor by any stretch of the imagination, but It's all right. And it does have some beam-ish, not beamish, that's a beer, which I've never gotten to try. It has some beam quality. Like, what I mean is like, this will sound strange. It even has some like creme brulee, like sub note, not an undertaste, but like a sub note to it, which I think is something with Jim Beam. So it's like malt that's a little more roasted than it should be. Like, like, I don't know, it's like darker or something. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's not, it can't be Caliber. Now, Caliber to me should taste like corn flour. So let's go over here and try the Caliber. Oh, the basketball game's starting in about 2 minutes. Usually they run a little late. They'll start, if it's a 5:30 game, start at 5:35. But yes, corn flour. Well, I like corn flour. I like corn in general, maize, corn. You can go to the grocery store and buy corn flour in a box or a bag. People use it for all types of things. Um, they're both medium bodied. They both have a little bit of, sorry, my nose was itching. They both have a little bit of oakiness, but like to say, oh, it's not like Old Fitzgerald. It's not a straight bourbon, so it's not going to be like that. It's going to be somewhat like that. And I noticed a new store here in my town started carrying Old Fitzgerald. I said, oh, I saw that today. I said, whoa, looks like Old Fitzgerald's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I never tried it yet. I still haven't tried it. I still haven't opened up my bottle. Not a shame. That's sad. But it is there. I always get some crispy cornbread from Bean Products. Must be like a house style. Cornbread. Okay, well, the cornbread, if you buy cornbread, it is very sweet. It's sugary sweet. Even if you buy Jiffy cornbread mix or Margaret Holmes, and you make some cornbread, you can do that so easy. I made it in my toaster oven. I didn't even use the full oven. Came out fine. Took about all the preparation and the maybe 30 minutes, but I don't believe it was that long. And it was good too. Boy, was it. It was the Jiffy. I use the Jiffy, but I'm sure the Margaret Home is probably just as good. And they got so many companies got cornbread mix. I think they're all probably good, but they just like there's like a uniqueness to them. People get stuck in these like dedicated styles. I realize Jiffy is the number one brand. I'm not aloof to that, but I think it would be good to be open minded and try other brands, like I did with the sandwich spread. In Louisiana, Blue Plate is the number one sandwich spread. Blue Plate. Everybody went Blue Plate, Blue Plate, Blue Plate, Blue Plate, Blue Plate. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, tired of hearing about Blue Plate. So I said a few years ago, it's been like 6 years. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to find every brand of sandwich spread I can find and try them. And I did that, except for the Kraft. Not the Kraft. I did try Kraft. It was the McCormick. Oh, yeah, the McCormick, which the price was outrageous. Every time I see the McCormick sandwich spread, I'm like, I'm not paying that kind of money for what? Mayonnaise with paprika and sweet relish in it? I don't think so. But I could get it, But I've tried all the others, You understand? But I tried them. I didn't just say, oh, I gotta have Blue Plate. I don't have to have anything. I tried them and they're all good. They're all good in their own way. Like even Great Value, a Walmart brand, which is probably made obviously by Kraft. Is that a napkin I see? Oh, that's a sock. Oh yeah, you can play with the sock. That's a sock she tore a hole in. Okay, so last call on this. Mm, very, very heavy on corn flour. Very heavy on corn flour. And sugar sweet. Oh, whew, give you the frisson, the willies. I got it. I got it. I don't know if they went up there and told you, but I got it. Um, so does caliber have some sort of unique quality to it? Yes, it does. And what you can look for, assuming you're doing a blind taste test, which probably nobody else on earth cares about, just look for corn flour. Like if you try this and you just be thinking, you mix them up real good, you can't tell one from the other, but you start sipping on it, you say, oh, corn flour, corn flour. And I really do think it has that exemplification. So I'm saying corn flour is the flavor that tips it off. To me, it's like my little secret weapon clue. Is it better than the Beams 8 star? I'm not prepared to say that. But for $6.96, it's better because it's cheaper per ounce. So it's a better deal. Now, if you have to have glass, I get that. I get that. I know some people want glass. So get the Beams. It's always in glass. Well, spoke too soon. If you get the handle, the big jug bottle, it's in plastic. 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 Blackwood Ghost says, wow, that Kessler, rough paint thinner, man. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Kessler is rough. See, I don't think it's rough. It's just got it is from the Old West. That's where they promoted it back in the 1880s and 90s in the Old West, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. I would call it rustic. It's rustic, kind of rough cut, but I think it's designed that way to reflect its heritage. And but overall, they said ultimately it's smooth as silk. Now I don't know if it's smooth as silk, but it does have. Got to stop waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning. It does have a smoothness to it. Now, have they changed Kessler over the years? I think they have changed it because I think I was looking at some old advertisements in the 1940s and 50s, and I think Kessler used to be like 86.6 proof, and it's 80 proof now. Now, could they be still making an 86 proof and a 90 proof? I wouldn't be shocked because a lot of these companies put out variants that are not listed on their website. But you say, I know it's there. I'm looking at it. It's in my hand. So you just have to be open minded with that because they will put out some aberrant, unusual, or if you want to say exotic products. But I think Caliber is not one of those. I think Caliber is going to always be 80 proof, no age statement, and the standard, it's Walmart standard, like standard. But it's all right. I mean, what I recommend, I would recommend it. I would recommend it if you don't mind paying $6.96 for a full size bottle, and I don't think anybody would. And you don't mind the flavor of corn flour. I say, it's all right. No plastic bottles for me. Hell no, haha, says Jesse Steele. I mean, I don't mind the plastic bottles. I'm not in love with them, but I mean, I'm sure the polyethyl tetraglycine, whatever, industry has perfected the plastic to store the liquor for the last 40 years. And don't you trust chemical companies? So, yeah, it's probably fine. But we're paranoid because we watched the China syndrome. You know what I mean? Hollywood got us paranoid. Paranoid. But I still prefer glass. It looks nicer, right? Like here's two glasses. Glasses, these are not two plastics, these are glasses. I mean, 99 times out of 100, I'm going to buy glass, you know. No, I mean. But I'm not totally opposed to plastic. Like when they had the Magnum malt liquor and the Steel Reserve 211 malt liquor, high gravity lager, sorry, and the Mickey's, and it was in the plastic, and the Old English 800 brand, and in the plastic. I didn't mind. I got 2 extra ounces. Why should I mind 2 extra ounces? But other people are like, no, no, it's got to be 40s. You know, it's like I'm watching Boys in the Hood. You heard me? It's like, turn your punk facility over. You know, it's like, okay. I was watching Colors. I was watching Colors with Sean Penn. But, you know, no, I mean, again, but I mean, they went back to glass. Molson Coors Miller said, like, okay, we'll go back to glass. And it's a funny thing around here. We still get the 18-ounce bottles, and that's an anomaly for most places in America. We can get 18 ounce, not a 12 ounce, not a pint, not a 22, 18 ounce. Budweiser, Bud Light, Old English 800, Ice House. Trying to think what other 18-ounce bottles. I know I saw one. It wasn't any of those four I just named. Can't remember, but we still get the 18-ounce bottles, which is a very strange configuration. James Morgan says, laughing out loud. Yes, we're all laughing out loud. She's being good right now. She's playing with fabric and having a good time. All right, so now what's coming up next? Tomorrow, I think another taste challenge. Now, I have so many products. I think I'll bring in tomorrow. Oh, I think it's time to bring in some Heaven Hill monstrosity. I meant to say variants. I almost said monstrosity. I would never call these products a monstrosity or a calamity or a disaster. I call them an option, you know, like a variant or whatever. So I have, oh, this is a very old brand. Well, you know, pretty old, from Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill. Ah, Heaven Hill. Okay, so stay tuned for tomorrow because Heaven Hill puts out a million and one, exactly 1,000,001. I could be wrong. 1,000,001 American blended whiskey blends. From a glass bottle, makes a sound like a drink from the bottle. Yeah. I'm losing track of what you're saying. I prefer a good scotch in a glass bottle. Well, I like scotch whiskey, and I have a lot of Scotch taste challenges coming up, but it'd probably be around March. Yeah, March, maybe April, but I might be able to get it in by March. I wouldn't put money on that. Sounds good. Yeah, these are these good? They're good in context, like a certain context. Like if you read the Walmart website carefully, which I did, they do sort of put it in context. Like they're saying, well, it's good for, these certain situations. It's not an erudite product. But I do like the way Walmart kind of frames it. So, yeah, I'll give them a recommendation. They're both in the B range. B, good. Definitely not in the A, excellent area, but whoever thought they would be for $6.96 or $9? No, nobody. That's who. Jesse Morgan says, thanks for the entertaining content, Ron. Cheers. Cheers back to you. Well, better get going because I know they're probably a good deal into the first quarter. I'm not watching women's basketball. First half. All right, y'all take care. I'll see y'all tomorrow, God willing. Thank you.